this is money. I go, Haley, did the dog? She goes, yeah, the dog got $1. I'm like, well, did you get it? She goes, she ran away. I go, okay, whatever. So I'm still finding like flakes of dollar bills around the house. Because like, what in the world?
You gonna harvest that from her poop later?
No, hard pass.
Nerdy, unqualified, and probably indistinguishable from rambling. Welcome to the A&D Show.
Hello and welcome to the A&D Show. I'm David.
I'm Austin.
And we are back.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
We pre-recorded our Christmas special and our other Christmas episodes. We pre-recorded all of them.
Yeah, we've recorded for what, like a month now?
Yeah,
it's been a
while. It's been a while. So it's good to be back. We're in a new studio. Studio 4. We have been talking about trying to come over here and record in Studio 4 for a while, and this is our first chance.
Studio 4 doesn't have a child trying to sleep in the other room.
It doesn't. Or any dogs that will make me allergic.
You need to get a dog.
And it has fantastic mood lighting. Look at this candle.
It's so fancy.
So nice.
Very romantic in here.
Not the mood I was going for, but whatever. Whatever works for you. So, man, big things. Let's just do a quick rundown of all the changes that have happened in the lives of A&D over the last month and a half since we recorded last, because we've had some pretty cool things happen and some changes and some content that we've released on other platforms that we're excited to share with you guys if you haven't already seen it or listened to it or taken it in whatever form or fashion that you can do that in /for
together
with. So anyway, first things first, our YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel,
you're missing out.
Pause this podcast and go over there right now to youtube.com/A&D show.
A-A-N-D.
I'm not exactly sure what that link is. You can just search for us. Just search on YouTube. Go into the YouTube search thing and just type in there the &D show, and it should be the first one that pops up. You'll recognize our artwork from our podcast. Check it out, because here's the thing, guys. We release YouTube videos. I wouldn't say every week or even probably once a month or so. We release a new. We've been working on a series right now called the Fake History series, and it's fantastic.
It's solid. I'm partial to it.
Yeah, I mean, same. I showed it to my 63-year-old uncle, or however old he is, and he literally was rolling on the floor laughing out loud in California.
Because he's a good person.
Because he knows what's funny. So check it out. Great content over there. We've done a number of videos. That number is 3.
But it's going to rise.
It's going to rise. We're working on some new content for you guys for the YouTube channel. So check us out over there. It's always a good idea to keep connected with us in every possible way you can. Why? Because you need your overdose of A&D as much as possible.
Right. I mean, my wife gets her overdose of me every day, and you should share that misery.
Yeah.
And by misery, I mean pure, unadulterated joy.
Yeah. Yeah. Elation, as it were.
Elation is a great word.
It's a great one. It's a great one. Also, check us out on Instagram. If you're not following us on our Instagram profile, we post some really great content over there. One of the things for any of our iTunes podcast listeners that you guys don't get through that platform are our custom per episode artwork that we develop just for each episode. We also release it on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. So go and check those things out. That it's good content. It's hilarious. One of our favorite things to do is to Photoshop our faces onto pictures that are not us, that are to do with our podcast content, right. And it's hilarious. So go check that out. Always a lot of fun. And Austin, can I get a drum roll, please? Because this is the biggest announcement I think we've got all night.
There's a car. Hold on. Sorry.
I thought you were just growling at me for a second. You were just like, okay, just stop with the drum roll. Okay. It's not working. It's not working for me. Okay, here's the thing, guys. We have just made public our brand new website, aandshow.com. That's AANDDSHOW.com. And that is awesome because why? Why? Because it's got everything. It's got all of our content all together on one seamless platform. You can listen to our podcast. You can watch our YouTube videos. You can check out links to all of our sponsors. And it is awesome. It looks cool. It's super streamlined. And here's the funny thing. It was made exclusively through Wix.com.
It's a great format.
Great format.
Site.
Sponsor of ours, new sponsor of ours, which we're super excited about. We're going to talk a little bit about later in the podcast. But that's enough preliminary stuff. Let's get right down to it because we got a doozy of an episode for you guys today.
Something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
I think many people are afraid to discuss on a public forum. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about it. Where? On a public forum. Why? Because we love our listeners.
It's important.
And it's important that you guys understand the weight of this kind of topic, this conversation specifically. So we're going to talk about something I think that you guys will really, really dive into with us in depth, and that is
expiration dates.
Expiration dates. The question that arises so often in our minds is it really bad once the expiration date has arrived?
No.
And the answer, the short answer to that is no. But
I believe that the best way to test expiration
is to taste
expiration
after post-expiration.
Listen, if it makes you sick, it's probably expired. I'm going to be honest. There is. So I've got a lot of schools of thought on expiration dates, and I'm very much this. I will take this to my absolute grave. I get very fired up about expiration dates, and my wife. I love my wife. I have a very blessed marriage. When it comes to expiration dates, we don't see eye to eye.
Let me just throw this in there then, because just to clarify for our listeners, I would assume, based on what you're telling me, that your wife is when that date hits, it's gone.
When the date? No. The day before the date hits, that bad boy's gone.
That's sad.
Like sour cream.
Yeah.
Sour cream, it's already spoiled, right?
I mean, it can get worse. I've got a story about that. I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, great! I want to hear it. The point is that, and maybe it was growing up poor, but when it came to expiration dates, it was more of a did it smell okay? If it smells okay, you're probably okay, right?
Right. Here's my thing. One of the biggest, and I think a lot of people will agree, one of the biggest struggles with expiration dates is the struggle with milk, right? Milk is one of those things that when that expiration date goes and comes and goes, is it really safe to drink? Is it going to taste good? And the interesting thing about it is my kind of vantage point on that is, and this is a little bit of a loose interpretation, but if it's not starting to swell up the milk jug, it's probably not bad.
Swell up.
Okay, so here's the thing.
How are you storing your milk? Are you putting it in a hole outside like a homeless person?
I like to keep it in a steam locker. Just kidding. No,
I keep my milk warm.
I keep my milk like it came out the cow, steamy.
Oh my god.
No, because what happens is the bacteria and junk in the milk will actually create a pressure. It'll actually release gases inside the jug, and it'll create pressure, and it'll make the jug bulge.
Okay.
And that's
really
good to know.
I didn't know that.
Now,
that's good to know.
You have to let it go for a while to get there. But that's really when you know, okay, it's time to throw this bad boy out.
Right.
But you can also tell a number of telltale signs that it's getting to the end of its life is when the milk starts to leave a milky residue line when you pour it. And then there's like a line where the milk was sitting, and
you just smell it or shake it. If it's not chunky or smell funky, you're probably fine.
The struggle with that though is that milk has a weird, funky smell anyway. I struggle being able to tell the difference between spoiled and not spoiled
what
milk
do you mean
because
milk
it all
has a funky smell.
well, it's all got that milky kind of.
It smells like milk.
Yeah, it's got a weird kind of soury smell to it.
No, it's not good. No.
Maybe I'm just drinking soured milk.
I think you're drinking sour milk is a problem. My issue has always been like when it comes to expiration dates. Like I remember one night I made an omelet. Haley was gone. This was pre-baby. Was it pre-baby? I don't know. Whenever it was, Haley wasn't home one night. I made scrambled eggs, and she informed me later that hey, those eggs are expired.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Unless the egg is green or, a chicken's poking out of it, I don't feel like the egg is expired. I feel like that's pretty good. Like the eggs tasted fine.
I can imagine you literally taking an egg, cracking it open, and the baby chicken just falls out.
Whoops! I gotta get out of the top pan real quick. There's oil in there. But like I've always looked at it. I've always thought like to me, if you sit there and I've always looked at expiration dates as like Best Buy dates, like Best Buy,
like it starts to go down in quality after that, but it's not truly detrimental to your health for quite some time afterwards.
Like vitamins, like how would a vitamin expire?
Yeah, the same with medicine, right? Like, okay, so I'm sure
it loses like potency, I guess, but
based on previous episodes at Studio 3 and my experience with the studio audience over there and how I respond,
the dogs,
the visceral response to me being allergic to them so horribly bad. As you may know, listeners, I'm horribly, horribly allergic to many, if not all, things.
That's how I judge someone's weakness. Just for the record.
So, based on... Good to know. Based on...
I see you as a puny man because my dogs make you sneeze. Speaking of sneezing, so the WWF, I guess now WWE, was founded by Vince McMahon. I read a story one time. Growing up, I was a big wrestling fan. I read a story one time that Vince McMahon believes that if you sneeze, you're weak as an individual, so he won't hire anybody for executive positions that sneezes in front of him. You're not allowed to sneeze in front of Vince McMahon. If you do, you're a weak person. And I've always thought I'm like, what if you got like a cold? Like I can't. Like, have you ever held a sneeze in? It feels like you're dying.
Yeah,
like, how do you live?
My grandfather told me a story once about a guy he knew that held his sneeze in and popped a hole in his lung.
Yeah, you can do that, Vince McMahon. Man,
so stuff it, man.
So this is my side note. I've always the story's always enamored me because I've always just thought like I sneeze really weird anyway, so I wouldn't get on the board there. When I sneeze. But it's not like I'm holding in. It's just like my body's like, I'm going to halfway sneeze.
You're a sneeze grunter.
You're an idiot. Yeah,
I guess.
Grunter.
I'm a sneeze cougher. When I sneeze, it sounds like I'm coughing.
Better than those.
I used to know a girl. And I don't even think it was her sneezing. I think she had some kind of weird tick or something because...
It's called Tourette's, you jerk.
Yeah, it might have been. But she had this thing that she would do that I thought she was sneezing, and so I was always like, bless you. And she was like, it wasn't never mind.
I always thought somebody bless you when like they cough or like hiccup because I'm weird and awkward and that's what I do in life.
Yeah, but she would sneeze and she'd be like,
I don't do it. I don't. Oh.
And I was just, it was bad. Anyway,
I would have one less friend. I'm sorry, we're way off topic. Continue. I'm sorry.
That's what this show is. It's just us getting off topic and struggling to get back onto it. No, but based on because of my severe allergies, right, to everything, to like air and water and people. I take allergy medicine like nonstop. I have a pretty healthy supply in the next room. Maybe an unhealthy supply. Depends on how you look at it.
It's a vat of Benadryl.
I literally have like
his own.
I've got a tub of liquid antihistamines that I shower with instead of water.
I'd much rather you have that than these are my essential oils for my allergies.
Oh, gosh. These are my essential oils.
I use lemongrass if I'm mowing the yard because the grass makes my throat tickle.
I take 2 drops of this and mix it with all natural lotions. Rub it into my joints.
My doctor recommended medicine, but I think essential oils are better. This is going to help.
Anyway, hopefully we've offended everyone with that statement.
I actually like some of the homeopathic stuff because I am a proponent against not a lot of medicines, but some medicines that are out there It's like, I would just rather try something else than have these terrible side effects. Just like, oh, I see you have a cold. Well, take this medicine. Also, this could give you anal seepage. No, thank you. I'll just stick with the cold, please.
That's a hard pass on that one.
I'd rather have the sneezes than leaking out of my rear end, please. No, thank you.
How did we get onto this topic? What in the actual world is happening right now?
This is just a show.
It's just a show.
If this is your first time, just buckle up.
Yeah, if you're just joining us for the first time,
it gets worse from here.
Yeah, it only goes downhill. Trust us, we've been doing this for a while. What number episode is this? This is like
47.
No.
39.
No.
48.
Not even close.
112.
Stop guessing.
2.
I'm pretty sure it's like 26.
We've done a few.
Yeah, I mean 2 a month. And we're almost a year into it. We started last February.
Man, has it been that long?
Yeah.
We've been friends for that long?
Yeah, well, I mean we were friends before that, but
it's true.
Still.
That is true.
Yeah, but almost a year of the A&D show. We're going to have to do something special in that episode. This is probably a conversation we should have off the podcast.
We'll wear sombreros. Yeah, probably.
We'll wear sombreros on a show where they don't see us. They only hear us wearing sombreros.
I'll be wearing it.
Trust us, people. We're wearing them.
I'll just sit there with a sombrero and a maraca.
Yes.
Anyway.
Castanets. It'll be great. It'll be a great show. So anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, so... yeah, medication does expire, but medication doesn't expire in the context of you eat this pill and it's going to taste like watered down diarrhea or something. It's not going to be like make you sick. Like, okay, so I take antihistamines all the time for my allergies, right? I can't go through them as quickly as I buy them because apparently I'm a kleptomaniac and I just constantly buy these medications.
A kleptomaniac is someone that steals. Are you stealing them?
I constantly buy them with money that I didn't have, that wasn't mine, that I took from somewhere else.
So that's stealing.
Yeah.
So you're a thief.
Yep, kleptomaniac.
Continue.
Anyway, I heard that word on a movie I watched recently. That's where I got that from. I'm not as smart as I sound.
No, that's a good word.
I heard it from Tintin. You ever seen Tintin?
No, I watch good movies.
That's a good movie.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've watched it twice in the past 2 months. It's that good.
We need to discuss your movie habits. Continue.
We have discussed our movie habits. Anyway, so antihistamines do expire, but they don't expire as in they're going to make you sick if you take them. They expire as in they are not as effective the older they get beyond that expiration date.
So
right?
you just take double, right?
Or quadruple, whatever I feel at the moment. Depends how severe my allergies are that day.
And that's fine. I as someone who chugs NyQuil and DayQuil for a living, I believe that that's probably okay.
For a living?
I enjoy the quills.
Man, I need to get into your department.
Haley says that I have a problem. The last time I got sick and I took medicine, I went through a bottle of NyQuil in 3 days and a bottle of DayQuil in a day and a half.
Dang, son.
It's a problem.
Yeah, you wow. Okay. Well, anyway, so expiration dates. But here's the thing, like, certain things that, like, okay, so the things that we're thinking about, the things that we're all talking about, typically perishable goods, milks, cheeses, yogurts, things that are already cultured bacteria anyway, most of those things, shocker, hot take, they don't actually expire when their label says they do, right? Milk, you can get a solid week, maybe even 2 after that expiration date.
Right.
Even though it's false advertising for them to put expires on because it doesn't actually expire. It's best by this date.
Right.
Most other companies are a little bit more upfront about it. They'll put on their best by this date. For example, I have some gum at my desk at work. It's not new, I guess, anymore. It's just that 5 gum by Extra or whatever.
Right.
It actually has stamped on the bottom of each package, best by such and such date.
This is what 5 gum feels like.
Yeah. Like a blizzard.
Right.
Yeah. So most of those things don't expire technically. They just are not as good after that time period. Now, there are some things, believe it or not, now their expiration dates are way longer in the future than these types of products. But there are some things, interestingly enough, that do expire that people don't really know about. That's what I want to tell you about because I don't even know if you know this.
I may not. I probably don't.
Did you know, listeners and Austin, did you know bottled water expires?
I would say theoretically I do believe that because water is something would stagnate.
Yes. Now, it doesn't stagnate because it's purified. All of the things have been extracted from it, and it's been put back in there in a way that's very sterile and very pure and clean. So it doesn't ever really take on the image of expired or rotten or rancid, but it does, and it does take on the taste of it. And I'll tell you how I know this. I know this from a really bad personal experience. I used to work at a bank, which will remain nameless, and I was working there with some coworkers, and it was just a particularly dry day, and we were all really thirsty, and we had run out. The company would actually provide us with bottled water for what it was supposed to be for our customers, but we drank it because our customers were horrible. Because we were, that's what I said. You said drunk because we didn't want to give it to our customers. Anyway, long story short, we ran out.
Right.
And we kind of felt bad because we were like, if we ask them for more water, they're going to be like, why are you guys going through it so fast? And we're going to have to tell them because we're drinking it and we're going to give it to the customers. And so we were just like, well, what are we going to do? We can either buy our own or we can go thirsty or we can just bring drinks in or whatever. Well, one of the girls that we worked with, Kim, she went back into the break room on her lunch break, and she came out on her lunch break and she said, hey, did you guys know that there's a whole case of water on top of the fridge?
Oh, boy.
And we were like, no, sweet. And it wasn't just the little tiny baby bottles that we, the little ones, the little like 6-ounce bottles that they would give us for our customers. It was full, Sam's Choice, 16 or whatever ounce or 20 ounce, 24 ounce bottles, good water, typically. And so we pulled it down and we were like, sweet. And so we pulled it down. I pulled one of them out. I went back to my desk, went back to work, and I'm sitting there and I cracked that sucker open, took a big old swig and felt like I had taken a mouthful of some kind of nasty, like it tasted very mineral and very, almost like I was drinking battery acid. It just had this really chemical flavor to it. And I was like, something's wrong with this stuff. So we went back and we looked on the package, and on the actual plastic that surrounds the bottle, it says expires on, I think this was back in 2013-ish time period, somewhere in there, expires on January 2008.
Ooh, so it's nice and old.
Yeah. And so it had been expired.
Nope.
For, what, 5 years at that point?
Nope. No,
sitting, collecting dust on top of a refrigerator in a break room in a bank that nobody had even thought about.
No, thank you.
I took a swig of it. It tasted horrible. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you tonight, today, this morning, this afternoon, whenever you're listening to this, whatever time of day it is, do not drink expired water.
It's good to know.
That's a bad thing.
That's good to know.
Now, I don't know if it would have been as bad if I had drank it immediately after the expiration date.
Right.
Because it was 5 years.
So when you buy a bottle of water, drink it.
Yeah, when you buy it, drink it.
If you're a doomsday prepper, just rotate your supply.
Well, if you're a doomsday prepper, they probably have some kind of like filtration system.
That's true.
That they can filter that kind of stuff out. Because what I would imagine the expired were all of the like minerals and things that they put in the water for flavor and for purification.
That's true.
Like the water,
that's probably true.
It's just hydrogen and oxygen. It really, how can it go bad? It doesn't do anything.
I put on Facebook a long time ago that I was very upset because I found out that that in bottled water there was dihydrogen monoxide.
Oh gosh!
And so I was very upset about that. I couldn't believe that they were actually putting this in bottled water. And someone that I know who is just like anti-government, like the government's the worst, comments like, "I can't believe you're right. The companies are the worst, and you'd be surprised what's in water, and what's in bottled drinks." And I had to break to him like, "Hey, just so you know, dihydrogen monoxide is H2O, which is water. This was kind of a joke, but I'm laughing really hard right now, so thank you." Some people are
are easy to get good,
right? So my question is, what does society see as the normal pattern for expiration? What does the average human being do with expiration dates?
That is a
are they more like my wife or like me? Are they more like the day before, or I'll smell it first?
I
What
think
is the average person?
like the average between those two extremes,
Right.
Because I think there are a good number of people that fall somewhere in between that are just like when the expiration date hits.
But what's more acceptable? Is it more acceptable to
throw it away the day before or to keep it for 2 weeks?
Not for 2 weeks. That's a bit lengthy, man.
I mean,
like I'm not drinking milk that expires today. At the Super Bowl. Like I'm not doing that.
when is the Super Bowl?
It's February, so I guess that'd be quite a ways away.
Yeah. Argument invalid.
Anyway, the Pro Bowl.
think-
We'll call it the Pro Bowls in 2 weeks, so we'll call it the Pro Bowl.
Okay. I think that the more acceptable, I don't know. I think the community is divided.
Because I agree that probably the average person is probably day of. Probably,
Yeah.
I would say, it's expired today, and throw it out.
I would say that you and your wife fall on either end of a very wide spectrum.
Right.
The normal person, aka me. Just kidding. I'm not normal. The normal person, the average person, I would think would probably be one that would say, when this expires, then I'll throw it out. But I'm not going to keep it for 2 weeks and drink it or eat it. But I'm also not going to throw it away before it goes bad.
Is there anything worse than craving a sandwich? You're pulling it out. Next thing you know, the bread's like stale and it's got like a speck of mold on it. It's like, man, this is the worst day ever. Some bull.
There is something worse than that. When you're craving a burrito and you pull out the tortillas and the tortillas have a speck of mold on them.
Oh, tortillas. Is this mold?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yikes.
Faster than bread.
Well, then don't use tortillas.
Yeah. So, I think that it's a pretty divided thing. Are you watching sports over there during our podcast? So distracted.
I'm not. No. I am not distracted. My team is playing the number 2 team in the country right now, so I'm just checking in. Everyone glancing over to see how badly we're getting beat.
Let me just illustrate to our listeners what's actually happening, because you have your 12.9-inch iPad Pro sitting on the edge of my couch. That joker is as big as my TV.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty stinking close, as big as my TV. And it's like sitting over there, and you're glancing every once in a while. It'd be as bad if I had the TV on sitting across the room from it.
But you don't.
I don't. Why? Because I'm dedicated to our listeners.
I'm dedicated to listeners.
I'm dedicated
I've given them gold today.
You have given him something.
Probably not gold. This is
Probably not gold. I don't know
that. Gold.
I don't know that anything.
It's like when you go to like when you go to like Nevada and they've got like those gold flakes. Like I remember this kid in high school had one of those pins with like the gold flakes in it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "It's so cool. It's gold.
It's real gold."
It's like, I don't think it is, man.
That's about the same amount of gold that you would find on one of those. Maybe not even this much, that you'd find on one of those like fancy desserts or entrees from like New York.
It's like, I've got gold in my. Like, what's wrong with you, you idiots?
What is it? There's a pizza.
You're literally, it's like $40,000 with the gold flakes on it.
Yeah,
it's
like
you're
caviar
eating
and junk.
money, you idiots. Speaking of eating money, my dog ate $1 the other day, and I was very upset about it. I got home.
What was it the garbage monkey dog?
Garbage dog.
Oh,
ate
gosh.
$1 bill. I got home and I see it. I'm like, this is money. I go, Haley, did the dog? She goes, yeah, the dog got $1. I'm like, well, did you get it? She goes, she ran away. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm still finding like flakes of dollar bills around the house. Because like, what in the world?
You gonna harvest that from her poop later?
No, hard pass.
Speaking of harvesting things from poop, this is a great time to segue into our word from our sponsors. So, let's do that.
Perfect. Solid outro.
So also, we have a brand new sponsor in Wix.com. Wix.com is super cool. They brought us on as a sponsor just a few months ago, and we have spent the last several weeks developing this new website.
Define we.
andshow.com.
It was mainly
so
you.
it was mainly me, but
mainly
still. So we've spent all this time, and I wanted to take a second because Wix.com, first of all, thank you, Wix, for taking us on as a sponsor, but also Wix.com is a really cool place. You can go there and you can create a website for free, and you can and they have really cool like intuitive tools and interfaces. It's a responsive web website, which means that it'll scale up and down to any device. What's really cool, one of my favorite things is when I was building it, you can actually switch between your desktop view and your mobile view, and then at the same time,
That's
back
awesome.
and forth. And what's cool is when it'll actually port all of your content from your desktop view to your mobile view, but you can edit how it lays out on your mobile view independently from your desktop view. So dragging one thing from top to bottom on your mobile doesn't affect your desktop, which is super, super cool.
Awesome.
It's pretty intuitive, and it's really easy as clicking 1, 2, 3, because when you go on there, you can either start from scratch, and if you have experience with coding, you can actually use HTML code. You can throw all that stuff that you want to in there, or you can use one of their thousands of professionally designed templates. Pick one, fill it with your own content. That's what we did. Whenever I went in there, I picked one that I thought was pretty cool. I pulled it in, I opened it up, started editing, and I just dragged and dropped all of our content from my desktop on my computer, our logo, our links to our YouTube channel, and they have a really cool feature that they are letting us use as a podcast website, that you can actually host your podcast directly on the website. So for any of our listeners that are going to go check it out, AANDDSHOW.com, at the very top of the page, you've got home, and then you've got podcast on the right. If you click podcast, you can listen to all of our episodes.
Right in the browser.
That's
awesome.
browser. All of our content is on that one website. It's super cool, super easy. It took me, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours to get a fully functional website going while I was at work multitasking.
Yeah, because like you had sent me the first rough draft, and the first rough draft I said, "This is great." That are you already done?
Yeah.
And I mean, you've upgraded since then. I mean, it looks
fine-tuned
great
a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's just it's awesome to see how. I remember I was a user of Wix back in the day when they first started, and their websites have always been top notch, high quality. And they struggled a little bit with the responsive side of things, but they have since fixed that and taken it to a whole new level, and they rival just about any website development, online development tool that you could find. And the craziest thing about it is you can start your website for free. That's right, 100% free. So go over to Wix.com, check them out, give them some love. Tell them how much you appreciate their support of us, and who knows, they might give you a discount for coming and saying that you're part of the A&D show. So check them out. They're an awesome website, an awesome company, and we're super glad to have them on board as a sponsor. Now back to the podcast. All right, and we're back. That is some awesome content, sponsored content. I'll tell you what, if you haven't checked out Wix.com, head on over there. Check out our new website, AANDDSHOW.com, ANDshow.com. It's awesome. Place.
I'll actually plug David on this. David built the site. David's got an excellent eye for content. He's got an excellent eye for design. I don't. I really don't. I like I make graphics for church. I don't have that kind of talent that he's got, and the website looks absolutely phenomenal. It's very, very well laid out and well written, and it's just good stuff. So check it out. Drop a like for David because he's awesome.
That's debatable.
I think
almost
awesome.
as debatable as expiration dates, which we have been talking about for the last half hour or so, and I still don't know that we've come to an ultimate conclusion because it's such a divided topic, really, because, you've got that bandwagoning end of the spectrum where people are like, I don't want to be ingesting things that may or may not be harmful. But then you also have the other end of the spectrum of people like you and I that look at expiration dates as what they truly are, the conspiracy from big corporate consumer item development companies trying to force us into buying more products at a quicker rate. Because look at it. Back in the 50s, they didn't even refrigerate milk.
Right.
They brought it to you in a plastic or a glass jar, and they set it on your porch.
I would actually bring that back. Bring back milk delivery, man. That's awesome.
As long as the milkman doesn't do what the milkman was notorious for doing back then.
Because there are places like Terre Haute and I think like Marshall. They've got like the Walmart like pickups. You can order your groceries online.
Marshall?
in Marshall, and you can pull up to like Walmart and check it on the app, and they bring your groceries out bagged to you. Like, sign me up for that junk, man. Like,
I just don't like Walmart.
Huh?
We're not sponsored by Walmart, are we?
No, but I mean,
because I don't like Walmart.
They bring they bag your groceries, bring them out to you. It's awesome. I want that. We got a baby at home. I'm going to get out of the car.
That's why you should just let your daughter grow up and make her do it all for you.
That's true.
That's why you have children.
Make her start mowing the yard.
Yep.
Can't give her chores.
Make sure she doesn't feed the money to the dog.
Brat. So the thought that you're posing to me right now, the thought that you're trying to convey to me, is that expiration dates are built by the man to get more of your money, right?
Fascist corporate fat cats.
Okay, they're not all fat cats, I don't think. I mean, some are probably. So
I can't think of any that aren't.
Lord. So to this end, you want me to believe that there is a situation where it's just a big conspiracy theory that there really are no expirations, that food is good forever? Or
no. I mean, here's the thing.
Plugging it early.
Here's the thing. I think it's entirely possible, perhaps even probable, that the expiration dates that they put on there, it's kind of like the same as the conspiracy with gas prices, right? You ever wondered why the gas prices are always like $259.9 instead of just $260? Why don't they just round it up?
Because it actually looks more appealing
to make it look like it's less, right?
Well, but that's the same idea why most prices that you see like in the store for anything end in 9.
Yeah,
because that's more appealing than around 0. That's basic. Well, that's not basic, but that's how they do it. Because that was something I learned going through business classes, like when I was in college, was that if you see something for $20 or something for $19.99. You are, I think the ratio was 40% more likely to buy something, the same item. You know, if you were on the fence about it, that you are more likely to buy it by 40% if it's 1 cent less. Because it's more because it's not, because it's under $20.
Exactly, because it's technically under $20, right. And that's the way that they get you. That's their whole thing with gas prices, is that they put it with that 0.9 of a cent on there. Because they really are charging you $2.60, but they are drawing your attention into it, thinking they're getting a better deal when they put it $259.9.
You're getting a great deal. It's gas,
right? And so that, I think, is the same idea. At least it's possible that it's the same concept that these big perishable food manufacturing companies are doing with expiration dates. They put an expiration date on there, and I'm thinking that it's possible that they have strategically and periodically shifted that expiration date to be shorter and shorter and shorter as kind of a as kind of a way of like desensitizing us or whatever to the truth about how things expire and when things go bad, so that it forces us to fall into their psychological trap like your wife has, where they'll throw it away the day before, right, and then they'll go buy more stuff.
Does anybody else like get the milk that's like the second milk on the shelf? Like, I don't buy the front milk.
Yeah,
is that weird?
No, I do that.
I mean, even if it's like the same expiration date, like I don't want the front milk. I don't want the milk that you've touched. I want the milk.
The one that people have sneezed all over.
I want the back milk.
The back milk.
Even if the expiration date's the exact same, I want the back milk. I'm weird.
I go to the back, but I go back to the back strategically to get as far away an expiration date as possible. Because I live alone, I don't have people drinking my milk out of my fridge. So
get a baby. They'll drink milk all the time.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't have grass to mow. I don't have dogs to take care of.
True.
So I don't need children yet.
You need a dog. His house.
No, because if I get a dog, then I don't have to get a child to take care of it.
No, get a dog. Get like a golden doodle that's like hypoallergenic, and then you wouldn't sneeze.
Dear God, golden doodles are so hyperactive, though.
But they're precious.
Yeah, they might be, but I just can't handle that kind of energy.
Super rude.
I like my house to be.
I don't know that our friendship can survive you being a non-dog person.
Oh, I'm not a non-dog person. I'm just a non-hyperactive yappy dog person. My mom used to have a poodle. It's dead, but she used to have a poodle. She's probably listening to this.
That sounded very happy.
She's probably listening to this episode.
Listen,
she's going to be
Mother
really
Kennedy,
upset.
I'm sorry about your dog. As a dog lover, a fellow dog lover, my heart breaks for that poor little puppy that I'm going to name Schnauzer.
Her name was Darlin.
Darlin? Oh, yeah. I love it.
She was a teacup poodle. She was the most annoying thing on this planet.
It's rude.
And
Very rude.
Anyway, I can't handle yappy dogs. I can't handle it. So that bearing that in mind, that and the fact I don't have any children, I don't have dogs. I don't have any pets. And I don't have time for one, to be honest. Because why? Because I work too much. I'm a workaholic. When I'm not working at work, I'm working at home or I'm working over at the church.
It's true.
I'm just a busy dude. I ain't got time for that junk. Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's true.
So anyway, expiration dates. I'm convinced, and I think that we've convinced all of our listeners, expiration dates are a conspiracy of the man.
They don't matter.
To take more money out of our
Don't
pockets.
throw it away. Just sniff it. If it sniffs fine, it's
give it a
fine.
sniff.
It's actually like chips. Potato chips, they're probably fine.
Yeah. Oh, potato chips don't go bad. They go stale.
Like beef
Even stale ones are
beef
good.
jerky. It's literally dried meat.
Yeah. How's that going to go bad?
What's it gonna do?
Now, if it's that Jack's Link stuff that's moist and
beef
chewable,
jerkies?
that's not beef
Probably
jerky.
fine too.
That's just
There's a
like dehydrated
there's
salty
a salvage
steak.
store in the town next to us that I bought it was literally the size of it was like 25 like Slim Jims like taped together for like $3. They were all like past expiration.
Kid in our church was selling
were all delicious.
what he called beef sticks the other day.
They were delicious. I had
They
mine
were
the other day. I
good.
actually ate that.
They were expensive as mess though. There was only 12 of them and it was
you gave me one 'cause
$20.
you're a good friend.
So
You gave me the habanero.
I gave him one, and I gave one of the other guys. We all came over here and hanging out one day, and I gave each of them one, and I had one, and then I gave you one, and so I only had like 3 left.
They were
to eat.
delish.
They were good. They were good. But anyway, hey, I wanted to tell you. I think we're done with the expiration dates. Are we
Probably.
done?
Probably.
I think we're done.
I said my piece that
I
I
have to.
believe.
Listen,
that
weigh in.
my wife ended up throwing away the food in the house.
Is she listening?
No. What do you think?
Probably not.
There's zero chance my wife's listening to this podcast.
That's fair. You've offered her so many free things,
She never
and then
caught
bought
it.
them for her anyway because you're a good husband.
I love my wife. She is the better part of me. I know it's cliche, but she
Well,
makes me happy.
You make me vomit.
I also make you happy because we're friends, but that's at the point.
That's fair.
It's a
That's
different
fair
kind of happy, hopefully.
Definitely. Weigh in, listeners. Weigh in. We want to hear your thoughts. Find a way. Send us a message.
Text me. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, here's Austin's number, 217.
Stop. They know the area code, so now they're down. Now the fans are down to 9,999,999 options. So
Is it that many, really?
I mean, there's 7 numbers left.
That's fair.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 9999999. That sounded like a Nazi. 9. Lord,
9.
we're off the rails. Don't be a Nazi.
So did I tell you that I listened to the audiobook of Ready Player One? Have you seen that movie yet?
I did.
Weigh in on your thoughts on that
We've
movie.
discussed this before.
Have we?
I think. Well, what I'm about to say, we discussed.
Yeah, okay. I think I know
I
what
have
you're
a problem with Spielberg.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Spielberg, for as quote unquote great as he is, I don't believe he has released enough great movies. Like and I'm not being like that guy. I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
But like Jurassic Park 1 was great.
Yes. Indiana
E.T.
Jones.
was great.
All 3 of them.
The first 3. Last Crusade was okay. Temple of Doom still gives me nightmares. Temple of Doom was phenomenal, and I watched it as a kid. Thanks, Dad.
It's a great movie.
My dad had zero filter when I was a kid about watching. Like, we watch whatever we want to.
It's a dark movie.
It's dark.
Considering. Didn't he do the Back to the Future movies too?
I didn't like him. I didn't like him.
Here's the thing. Whatever your opinion is on his work, you can't deny that his work is iconic. Whether it's good, quote unquote, or not, according to your standard, is irrelevant. It's iconic because when you look at it in the scope of film history,
Quentin Tarantino's iconic too, but he's had a lot of stinkers also.
well, yeah, his movies are just not that good.
Iconic doesn't mean that you're any good. Iconic means that
That's fair.
You make big budget films. Michael Bay is iconic.
Michael Bay's trash.
He's iconic.
Has he had anything that was good?
How dare you? Little thing called Bad Boys.
That's fair. That was a good.
So good.
That was
They're all good. They're making a new one.
Are they?
Yeah, Bad
Are
Boys
they
for
sure?
Life. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Like 90-year-old Martin Lawrence out there just like having like a one of them like rascal scooters. I'm going to shoot you.
I don't think he's quite that old, but
It's going to be great.
so anyway, yes, I watched I've seen the movie for Ready Player One. I liked it. It was interesting. It was an interesting concept. I agree
it
with
was
you.
okay. Again, it was
watchable.
a big budget film that didn't live up to the hype.
It was watchable. It was kind of very much in the same vein as Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. It was a visual masterpiece, but it was overall a bit underwhelming just in general, right? So I'm thinking about it, and I didn't realize when I saw it at first, I didn't realize that it was based on a book. Well, I was going through, I'm a big fan of audiobooks.
Right.
I love to listen to them. I was scrolling through the library that I was attached to, found the audiobook for the actual novel, the unabridged audiobook for the novel that Ready Player One.
Okay.
And I listened to it. Took me a few days to get through it, but I wanted to give you my honest opinion on it. I wrote a review on it, but unless you're attached to that same library, you won't see it. So I wanted to share my opinion on it. Good story. Really good. Interesting concept. Overall, it kept my attention so much so that I'm listening to it while I was at work, and I could barely pay attention to what I was doing at work because I was listening to it. It was pretty good. It kept my attention.
Right.
It started out really rough. The first 2 or 3 chapters are it's based around this kid, about 17, and it's the first 2 or 3 chapters are an exposition of his thoughts on life, the universe, and everything, pretty much. And if you know anything about kids at the age of 17, they don't know anything. And they're very opinionated about everything because they think they know everything. And it's just very tedious and very slow. But once you break through that wall of crap, then you finally get to the story. And the story was actually good, had fairly good pacing, give or take. And then the end left quite a bit to be desired. But overall, I give the book a solid 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Because it was interesting enough to keep me attached and listening. That and the fact that my subscription was running out and I wanted to finish it before it ran out.
I'm gonna get through it today.
Yeah, but it was overall an interesting read. My biggest qualm with it, believe it or not, and you know me, I'm a pretty big fan of pop culture.
Right.
I like 80s stuff. I like 90s stuff. We
Don't
did
we all?
an entire exposition on our favorite Christmas movies, and a lot of those of my selection were due to their nostalgia from their decade, right? So I'm a pretty big fan of, and pretty big nostalgic fan, I should say, of pop culture, era-based pop culture. And the biggest qualm that I have with this book and the movie, too, truthfully, was the fact that the writer, his author, his name is Ernest Cline. It felt like a not so humble brag about his vast, unabashed knowledge of everything pop culture. It was pop culture vomit.
No one likes a humble brag.
It was exhausting.
Right.
It was good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. And there were several throwbacks and callbacks to things that I did know and that I did care about that I thought were pretty neat. And it was cool because it was a lot of it you're able to visualize because you know what it looks like. Right? When they talk about the DeLorean and they talk about he has this souped up DeLorean, he's flying it around or whatever, like you can visualize that a little bit easier than them explaining to you a completely new unknown vehicle. Right? But it just felt like every time he mentioned something that was pop culture references or related, it just felt like he was just slapping you in the face with his pride and his ego. And he was just like, I know more.
That's usually how I live life. I just slap people in the face with my knowledge.
Yeah. And it was exhausting.
Right.
It was good, but it was exhausting. And there ultimately, other than that, there was a lot of agenda behind it. You know how those dystopian future stories typically tend to be about us killing the planet, and there was a number of agenda-based...
Stop using aerosol hairspray, you're ruining the globe!
There was a number of agenda-based plot threads that happened. There was some LGBT stuff that happened. One of the characters was talking about how she was kicked out of her house for being a lesbian or something, and stuff like that didn't move the story forward at all.
Things that happen a lot less frequently than we're led to believe happen.
Right. And it was basically unimportant, just NPC things that they just
Right.
dropped into the story, which were dumb. But overall,
Correct.
the concept was really cool. The whole story is based around this kid who lives in a virtual world.
Yeah, the movie. The movie was a fun ride. I just thought that, like I said, I'm not a book person, so I can't really.
Yeah. Well,
my input.
the thing that makes the book, in this pretty rare instance, makes the book better than the film is the fact that the book does the explanation. It gives the explanation that you need to understand all
Right.
the pop culture references. It gives you the backstory on the character who created the world and the universe and made everything possible. It gives you a whole lot more of that backstory, whereas the film, they just kind of glaze over a lot of that, and they don't really talk about it, and they don't really give you too much information about it. Granted, I haven't seen the film in a while, so I may have to go back and rewatch to make sure. But from what I remember, there was a whole lot of pop culture references and stuff, and a lot of really cool things. It must have taken millions of dollars in copyright stuff to get all that to happen. But
Especially like the big fight scene at the end where you got like all of like Mario had Master Chief, you had Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, you had like I think Bowser was in there, so you got like
we got Iron Giant,
a good portion of like Disney characters, a good portion of Nintendo characters, a good portion of Sony characters, a good portion of a good portion of like Square characters. I mean, a lot of there's Qbert. Although I think Qbert Pac-Man maybe passed the royalty phase. They may be.
They might be.
I'm trying to think because there's a certain time limit that if stuff's been around for X amount of years, then it becomes what's a public domain.
Yeah,
Pac-Man may be close to that.
I think you're probably
frame.
onto something with that, but
because there were a lot more like old characters.
Mm-hmm.
There's like you saw like a lot of like Pong. You saw a lot of the old Atari stuff that was probably
and a lot of that was also used in that Adam Sandler movie Pixels or whatever.
Actually, that was a good movie.
I liked it too.
Pixels a lot.
People trashed that movie so hard, but I thought it was fun. But anyway,
I like Adam Sandler.
So yeah, me too. I'm a fan. But Ready Player One, the movie, the thing that really kind of did it an injustice is they changed a few of the plot threads. They changed a little bit of how the movie or the story moves along, which didn't hurt it. The thing that they didn't do well with was explaining how and why and the time frame and everything like that of the actual story from the book. And so when you read the book, you've got a lot more of an understanding of how the pacing of the actual story goes, the universe that it's all built around and all that kind of stuff, which that's nice. That was nice to have. And it helps if you have read the book or you do read the book and then you watch the film, it'll help it make make more sense to you. But ultimately, film was good. Film was definitely watchable, definitely enjoyable. The book, definitely readable, definitely difficult to read for people under the age, I would say, of 17 or over the age of 30. I read it. I listened to it, I guess, technically. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I'm 33, so I won't even try because I'm 33.
I don't think it would be something you'd be into.
It's a book.
Beyond the fact that it's a book, I don't think it'd be something that you'd be into. But anyway, that's my honest opinion about it. Not that this podcast is becoming me reading books and telling what I think about them, but I'm a reader. I like to read, and I like things that have become movies.
I like
particularly because I like to be able to have a visual created for me.
I agree.
But anyway, so there's that. It's a good book. It was all right. I started another one today too. I finished that one today, and I started another one.
What are you reading now?
The Lost World by Michael Crichton. It's the book that inspired almost the entire franchise of Jurassic Park. Wow. Well, I guess Austin's asleep, so I'm here by myself now.
I will openly say that I think that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is a garbage movie.
I hate you so much.
I know you do.